Hey everybody, Patrick Costas here. And give it a minute for some folks to join us here. Get some things set up. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I know the audio may not come through very well, but while we're waiting for some folks to join, I wanted to share with you this video I saw from our good friend, what was it, ABC or one of the good MSM outlets. But anyway, it's talking about the lawsuit against the victims. And again, I'm sorry about. I know it comes through choppy and the audio is not that great. It's because of my crappy equipment. I apologize for that. But anyway, I thought it might be of interest to you. So give me 1 second, and I'll get that turned on for you. And then after that, we'll kind of get into the show. But kind of give folks a chance to log on here while we watch this.
The tearful press conference today, survivors of the Las Vegas massacre now speaking out after they're now being sued by the owner of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. MGM, the company that owns the hotel, suing the victims and the families of the deceased. MGM says they're not looking for money, but they want to sue to keep them from suing. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Tonight, survivors of the Las Vegas massacre, the worst mass shooting in U.S. history, calling MGM's lawsuit outrageous.
You know, it's like being kicked again to the ground.
I've already lost my son, and now they want to sue me.
MGM filing suit against more than 1,000 victims and family members, including Jason McMillan, a sheriff's deputy, now a paraplegic, who says the move is bringing back the worst night of his life.
I couldn't help anybody.
MGM owns Mandalay Bay, the hotel attempting to use an obscure post 9/11 law for acts of terror that could shield them. In a statement, MGM saying, "We're not asking for money or attorney's fees, but they are seeking a preemptive ruling to not be held liable against people who may sue." Victims vowing to fight back against this new legal attack.
Hearing that I'm now being sued, it's not only insulting, it enrages me.
David, an attorney for the victims, says suing the men and women who were either shot or lost loved ones is about as un-American as it gets. David.
Will, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
Okay, George, I'm not going to give you that much free publicity. But yeah, so anyway, there you go. This Mandalay Bay is actually suing these folks, the victims of the shooting, not seeking lawyers' fees or anything of that nature, but using some obscure post 9/11 law that might shield them from future damages or liability due to the attack that came from their establishment. And it's also been rumored that some of these that there was another event, perhaps in 2000, I believe it was 2014, where Mandalay Bay had found somebody in one of their rooms with a bunch of weapons. So this is not the first time that Mandalay Bay has been caught like this with a compromising situation like this. But, you know, just like after 9/11, they passed all the, the Patriot Act and all these other obscure, weird things. You know, it's kind of like Nancy Pelosi said, you got to pass it to see what's in it. So this is what, goes along with now we're seeing what's in it. Now we're seeing that a hotel can be, in my opinion, negligent in the fact that they didn't seem to think it was anything unusual about all this, all these weapons, all these boxes and everything coming up there and whatever. That's for a jury or for a judge to decide. I don't want to litigate that, without having all the facts. But the fact of the matter is, it's pretty sleazy to go ahead and sue people that are suffering as bad as the victims of the October 1st mass shooting are. So I don't think that was a very good move on them. I think at the end of the day, it's not gonna work out very well for them. These kind of tactics of blaming the victim, I mean, if to have MGM sue, victims of this is just insane. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I guess, money is king. Money makes people do weird things. I've said it before, and it looks like it's true in this case as well. So, let me do this here. So what big things I had going on? The only big news I've got and I released it on my channel, was that the video where we found, or I found, Fatigues man being arrested. You know, you could hear about it over the radio calls and all that, the RV and this and that. So actually, what it was is it was on a body camera of a female officer who was in the back dealing with triage and trying to figure out all the wounded and do everything like that. And she actually kept, I mean, there's other audio that goes along with it before where somebody tells her, hey, we got a possible in that RV over there. And she's, you know, watching that area. And all of a sudden, police officers go up there, grab this old guy, and he's got his little dog with him. And, you know, they walk him over, and he's wearing like kind of like tan khaki type stuff, I guess you could say, or fatigues, but they weren't like camouflage or anything. It was just tan gear. And so he basically goes over there and says, you know, I don't know what's going on. Actually, I have the video here. Now I think about it. I have to fast forward to it. And again, it's going to be all blotchy because of my lovely equipment here. And go ahead and kill the audio so it doesn't interfere. So around the 22-minute mark is when they grab this guy. Oh, must have been a little earlier than that. So you can see him. So you can see his little dog. That's the old guy right there. So I'll pause it when we get a good picture of him here.
Thanks, bud. Get back.
Okay. All right. So here.
Is he hurt?
This is hospital.
So this is the gentleman that they picked up, and so the officers are telling her, "Oh, this is a possible." So you can see he's wearing like this tan stuff, but in fatigues. And then so this guy comes up to while the officers are holding this guy. This guy comes up, and apparently he's a witness. I'm not sure who this guy was. I don't know if he's an off-duty cop or what his story is, but he basically kind of walks up and threatens this guy, and it's like, "Well, if you're a part of it, you know, and this and that." And the other officer, like, if you can, if I hit play here, I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but officer actually yells at him and tells him to back up because he didn't like the way he was acting. So, all right, let me go here. So I'll play it. Maybe you can hear a little bit of the audio here.
Are you hurt? You're not hurt. No weapons on you. Nothing like that. Is this the gentleman you saw? Yes, it's you. Get back! Hey, do not trust this guy? Nice and tall with black bags. I don't know. Let's go. Hey, you need to get back there in front of this guy. Okay. Possible. It's a possible. Hold the dog. Hold the dog. He's not a possible. Go back to our car. Hey, well, there's shooting going on, and somebody saw you got in a trailer and changed clothes. No, sir. This is the one that you saw change out of black fatigues? Were you wearing black fatigues earlier? Tan fatigues. Tan fatigues. Black duffel bags. To the back of the RV. This is a possible. Thank you. Is there anybody else in that trailer other than your wife? Can I clear that trailer? I can go in that trailer? Yes. Black canvas bag. Yeah, where you going with the car? That's fine, dude. If it's you, hey, get away! Put him up on the rig. You want cuffs? Sure. So you're just being detained, right? Did you see? You didn't see him with any weapons? No, I saw him walk with a black canvas bag way too comfortable. Everybody's screaming. That white RV right behind the rig? Black canvas. Where's the white bag? With all this commotion, this is impossible that they saw change. We have multiple witnesses say that he was wearing brown fatigue and I'm still wearing the same one. Right in front of the fire truck in the parking lot. He was out with his dog. He says his wife's in the trailer, and that's all. No, my wife's not in the trailer. She's in the room. Who's in the trailer? My bird. Where's the keys to your trailer? Right there? Is there anybody else in that trailer? No, sir.
Here. I'm going to put this.
Stay away. You tell me.
This is your dog, right? You're going to hold the dog. Stay here.
Can you give a dude in my hand?
There you go.
Okay.
Good, bud. He's not going. Yeah, he's not. I know it's hard. Don't attack him.
Listen, I saw a lot of people down.
You stay here because if it is him, I want a witness statement from you. Okay. You got two? Okay. I'll get him. Two.
Okay, so that's about it on that one. So yeah, I don't want to spew on, guys. I see there's a few of you on there, so if you got anything to share, I want us to network on here and share some stuff of what we found. I'll keep talking, but I'd like to hear what any of the regulars here, if you guys have been able to dig up anything or come across anything new. So I'll give you my read on the fatigues man here. I don't. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, look at Paddock. He doesn't exactly look like a stone cold, Terminator-esque killer. He certainly doesn't look like the type of guy that would be responsible for the largest mass shooting in American history. So neither does this old guy that they picked up there. But there's some things, about him, about my time in law enforcement, and I can kind of judge people pretty well. And just based on what little bit I saw there, I think the story's believable. I mean, he's holding a pipe there. He's got his little dog, and he's got a Texas type accent. Doesn't fit with Paddock. He also is talking about. I mean, he was being very clear about the story. Just people kept interrupting him. He kept saying his wife's in the hotel, and then one of the SWAT guys is like, "Oh, she slept through all this and all that," and he's like, "No, I said she's in the hotel," and apparently what he was going out to his RV to do was to feed his bird. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on, and I could see how a guy wearing khakis going out to his RV like that right in the middle of all that could look a little suspicious. I mean, I'm not begrudging anybody, but as far as thinking this dude had something to do with it, I really don't. My gut's telling me no. Now, I mean, it doesn't mean maybe somebody call in a 911 call as a diversion. I don't know. I mean, that's the only way I could see this guy being involved, is probably unwittingly being used as some kind of a diversion. I don't know. I didn't get the feel that this guy was involved, but it was a big find to find that in the body cam footage and actually be able to verify something that's been, that we heard on the radios, and there's police reports with it. So that's good. Let's see. All right, so I've got some new 911 calls here of a little bit of interest. I'll play this one for you. I found, let me tell you a number. Give me 1 second here. 1 second. So this is call number 1055. So again, this is 1055, and it's talking about a shooting at an In-N-Out Burger. So hold on 1 second.
2017 009 and 43 seconds.
Metro Police, Benzine 16078. Hi, I'm operator 1185 with Northern 911 of a T-Mobile VoIP call. He's requesting the ambulance for his daughter who's been shot. She's located at 3545 South Las Vegas Boulevard at the In-N-Out Burger. Okay. I have his callback.
Yeah, my guy, she worked there.
Okay, let me go. Is the caller on the line? Yeah, I have his callback number.
Yeah,
okay, is he actually with the patient right now? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you with your daughter right now?
She's my daughter. I don't know, but I want to know what happened. I don't know.
Sir, I can't understand what you're saying. Who is shot?
Her name is Diana.
Diana, what was her last name? Okay, and how do you know?
She's my daughter.
Your daughter,
I don't know. She
correct?
called me and she called me and she said I got hit, and right now she's not answering.
Okay, but did she say she was shot?
Yeah, she said she been hit.
Okay, do you know where?
I don't know. She she called us and she like, the mommy, there's a shooting over here and got hit. And then she hang up and I tried to call her back and I got no answer. I know.
Okay, what's her telephone number?
Her telephone number?
Yes.
What is Diana's number, Alex?
Espérame. Okay, so I'm just confirming, sir, she said that she was shot.
Yeah, this is what she said in the phone when she called my wife, yeah.
Okay, can I get your first and last name, please?
Jose.
Sir, you're talking too loudly into the phone and I can't understand you.
Jose.
Okay, and what's your telephone number? Okay, I will go ahead and let medical know, okay?
Can you please call my one to know what happened because I keep calling her and she doesn't answer the phone.
Okay, we will get you. We'll get help out there, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, bye-bye.
So, yeah, what an awful situation for, can you imagine being a father? By the way, hi, Linda, I see you on there. You know, can you imagine being in a horrible situation like that and having to call in 911? But he, at the very beginning, it was kind of hard to catch, but he did say that she was a cashier at the In-N-Out Burger. So I don't know if that means he was, you know, I don't even think he knew. He just was so panicked and called 911, which is totally understandable. I have 2 daughters of my own. He probably handled it better than I would have in that situation. But, you know, it's one more thing to look at. Now, there's multiple 911 calls. If you guys want to talk about something else, I'm more than happy not to share them all because they're all pretty much the same. I've got 911 calls I found from Caesars shooting, from the allegedly saying there's a shooter at Caesars, there's a shooter at Bellagio, there's a shooter at MGM Grand. I've got another 911 call I found where somebody's calling up giving a tip about a supposed shooter. I mean, I've got some pretty interesting ones, but I don't know what all you want to talk about. What's up, Bob? And Bob says, change from black fatigues carrying a duffel bag. That is noteworthy, at least. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a noteworthy event, that's for sure. Hi, Charlene. Bob said they did arrest him and take him away, so they just have thought something was off at least. Yeah, it's something, you know, I don't know. It's like I said, my initial feeling on the guy, I don't know. I didn't detect anything on, you know, on my spidey senses that led me to believe anything was bad off about him, but he could have been used as a diversion. That's always a possibility. And I wanted to let you guys know, I did find another body cam footage that's extremely interesting. I'm going to upload it onto my channel tonight. I'll do it after the live stream. I'm going to have to age protect or whatever the hell that's called, what the crap they do to me anyway all the time, where they what the hell is that? Age restricted or whatever? Yeah, they're going to do that crap to me anyway. But anyway, I got to do it. It's pretty brutal. I mean, basically what it is this guy it's an officer with an AR, and he basically runs right into the middle of where most of the casualties are while the shooting's going on. I mean, you can hear the rounds bouncing all around him. But what's most noteworthy about that whole engagement there, or the whole clip, is you got to listen closely to the sound of the gunshots. In fact, I recommend that you watch the video after I upload it. You watch it and actually watch it without looking at the video, just listening. Like put on some headphones and try to listen to those sounds. Just let me know if you hear anything weird. I don't want to poison the pool by telling you what I think. I want you guys to listen to it. Next time we do a live stream, let's talk about it. And let me know if you heard anything strange about it. So again, I'll go ahead and upload it right after this live stream's over. And look at what we got here. Bob says later 50-ish-year-old 5'3" Asian lady seems to have broke into it. What's that? What are you talking about there, Bob? I missed something. Later, a 50-ish-year-old 5'3" Asian lady seemed to have broke in. into it. Yeah, I mean, and Linda says she agrees it's very suspicious. It's worth looking into. That's why I posted it, because it's something worth looking into. And we all know that we can't trust the heroes in the FBI, and then to go and track this down for us. So we're gonna have to do it ourselves. Let's see what we can figure out. Bob says they claimed he changed out of black fatigues carrying a duffel bag coming from area of the shooting. Now you see that would be a little interesting to me if he had gone there, if he came out of there. I was under the impression he'd come out of some other area. Now, if he came out of the area of the shooting, that would pique my interest a lot more. What the hell was he doing? What duffel bags would you have possibly been allowed to carry into that venue? And I really want to know from anybody, if anybody's was there, were they searching people as they went through? I mean, things like that. I would imagine. I mean, most concerts nowadays, I don't go out that much, but I'm assuming they search for guns and stuff. I mean, they had controlled entry points there and all that. So, but yeah, I'd just be interested to know if they did any kind of searches on people as they went in there. But if he came out of there, but my point was, why would the security let him in there with 2 duffel bags like that if there was security? I mean, like I'm saying, it would look suspicious to them before the shooting. So why would they let him do it? So if he was coming out of that area of the shooting with those duffel bags, like out of the concert, that's very weird. And Bob says, and they did arrest him. Unfortunately, the video ends early. Did they find a gun? What was in the duffel bag? Yeah, I would love to know. This was a setup. It really, and Charlene says this was a setup. It really was. Yeah, I mean, it's looking more and more like that. It is looking more and more like that, that's for sure. Let me pull up. And, oh, whoops. 1 second, I did that wrong. I mean, it's definitely worth looking into. It's something that bears, deserves further scrutiny. This is showing you here my little Google map I've created of this, of incident there. Now, what's kind of freaking me out is I'm listening to like kind of the niche. Oh, I see, Bob. Bob saying that Asian lady broke into the RV. Like after the, like, when did she break in? Like during the shooting, or like maybe she was trying to hide, or I don't know. Do you have any clarification on that? Like when she went in there and did that? I'll wait for Bob. I'm gonna go on here. So these are all the areas that there's been some kind of report of a shooting at that I've heard of on the 911 calls. So you have like the Fat Burger, Bellagio, Paris, Caesars, the Mirage, New York, Excalibur, and there's others too. Those are just all the ones I've got up right now. So if he's shooting way down here and you have shots fired calls being called in at Caesars, I'm finding that really hard to believe that's coming from him. And remember the effective range of the weapons he had. Okay. Now, again, bullets will travel further than this, but the effective mil specs on the weapons, the effective range on the type of weapons he was using, which again is the range in where a reasonably trained person would be able to effectively hit a target, is right here. So there's talk of shootings over here at Fat Burger, which is 1,600 yards plus away. Bellagio, Paris, Caesars, there's a lot more investigating that needs to be done. Is basically what I'm getting to. Okay. And Charlene says, just look at who owns all the casino. And Bob says, could he have been one of the ninjas we saw on various roofs and whatnot during the shooting? Linda says, I need to listen to more of those calls. It just confirms to me that there was more shootings. Think professional shooters, Bob says. Charlene says, did you see the helicopters? Yes, I've looked into the helicopters a lot, and I don't have, and I feel pretty strongly on that. Some folks disagree with me, and that's fine. We don't all have to agree. I don't think there's anything to the helicopter thing. I don't buy the shooting from the helicopters. I'm not a proponent of that theory. I looked into it. I even did some test filming helicopters at night just to see what I thought. And I've seen people shooting from helicopters. I've been in combat, so I know what it kind of looks like. And I'm not seeing that from what I've seen. I've looked, and this is another avenue I want to go through sometime. There's a lot of video of just the helicopters captured on the officers' body cameras when they're sitting stationary waiting for orders or something, and they have their camera propped up. You can watch the helicopter just going around and around and around and around and around, and while the shooting's going on. I mean, and during that period, and there's no helicopters around that area shooting anything, because you can see the helicopter come right next to one of the officers while the shooting's going on, and you can tell it's not coming from the helicopter. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think the helicopter thing has any veracity. If something, I don't think it's a valid hypothesis. If other evidence comes out later on, hey, I'll look at it then. I'm never going to close my mind and say that, oh, no, that's 100% impossible. But at this point, I've seen nothing that leads me to believe that a helicopter assault took place. Linda's asking, was his trailer inside the venue? And Charlene says a couple disappeared. All right. So, well, let me pull up some of my 911 calls here about other shots at other places. This is a pretty quick one. Let's play this one. And
Monday, October 2, 2017. 0.
I hate technology. Okay, so this is called 1042. 1042.
0, 4, and 59 seconds.
911 emergency, benzene 16078. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
Please.
What is the address of the emergency, please?
Caesar's Palace.
Okay, and what's going on there?
We're hiding from gunmen. We're in a bathroom, the men's bathroom.
You're in the men's bathroom?
In the lobby.
Which bathroom, ma'am?
In the lobby, I don't know.
In the lobby? Is that going to be like the main lobby area?
Yeah.
Okay, one moment.
Monday, October 2, 2017. 0, 0, 5, and 0, 4 seconds.
911 emergency, Brown 15968. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I don't. My friend just posted that she can't find safety, and there was just a shooting at the front desk of the Bellagio.
Okay. We do have that information. We do know what's going on there. Do you know if she is injured?
She's not injured. And one of her coworkers was, but she's running. She ran out.
Okay, so, fantastic. As long as she's not injured.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Monday, October 2.
Okay, so what I found weird about that one is she says there's the first one was, or it said Bellagio, okay? There's a shooter at the front desk of the Bellagio, is what that one lady, and it's kind of hard to hear, and I should actually post some of these 911 calls, like, on my channel, that way you guys can hear the audio a lot better. With these live streams, like, I apologize, but my equipment sucks. I keep blaming the equipment, but in this case, it's actually a valid blame. But you can see where Bellagio is, and again, the effective range, rounds hitting somebody over there. Certainly Paddock or whoever over here raising hell is not going to somehow translate into a gunman shooting right here. That, I don't know. There could have been mass panic and people just freaking out, but I don't know. That's 2 phone calls that I found pretty easy where people are saying there were shooters at other areas. Caesars, which is down here. Very long ways from all the mayhem down there. Quite a ways. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Lindo says, weren't there people saying that they were convinced as they were running away they were being shot at ground level outside the venue? Yes or no? Outside at ground, I believe. Yeah, I've heard some witnesses say they thought they were being fired at that way. I think Infowars actually one of the videos. I was trying to look at all the video I had for this. Oh, and it reminds me of something else I got to talk to you about. But anyway, they had a witness on Infowars, and he actually said that they felt like he was being fired at from ground level, not from an elevated position. I wanted to share this with you. So I got the Las Vegas channel up and running. Here it is, the Las Vegas Massacre video archive. So this thing is actually up and running now. I started uploading some content to it. You can see what I got on there thus far. I want to put everything on there. I want to put the news footage I've got. I want to put the body cam, the surveillance, the shooting videos, everything. I just want to put everything on here. I'm not going to really be replying to comments or anything on this channel. This is just strictly for people, for researchers to get information. Historians, whoever, I don't care. It's just free information out there for people to get. That's what I'm doing it for. So by all means, if you should check it out. Las Vegas Massacre Video Archives. I usually at the end of my videos I put a little advertisement for it, so you could just click on it then. So yeah, that's where it is, and I got a lot more that it just takes it's a while to upload this stuff. Some of these camera body cam things and surveillance things are hours and hours and hours long, so it takes a while. Thanks, Charlene. There would call in a circle around the... And Bob says, on various cell phone footage, it sounds to me like silent subsonic ammo might have been used because there's no report when it seems like there should be a given location. Yeah, Bob, seriously, listen, when I upload that video later tonight, I want you to listen to that audio really closely and think about what you just typed in there about the subsonic ammo. Just leave it. I'm going to leave it there. But when I upload it, just listen closely to that. I don't want to play it like right now. It's not, the audio will suck and it'll be all, blocky and jammy and all that. I don't want to do that. I want you guys to see it the right way. So as soon as we're done with this live stream here, I'll go ahead and do that one. Well, yeah, I mean, guys, I've been answering Linda here about doing the homework. Well, the day after this happened, I set up my computer to pick up and automatically record all the video that was being put out over the internet that had anything to do with this Las Vegas shooting. So I actually gained almost 2 terabytes of information over the next few months, which included everything from cameras, from cell phones, and this and that. It basically grabbed anything it could, and I've gone through this, and I've kind of put it down and picked it back up again, but I've never totally put the investigation down. I just may have been busy with work or whatever, but I've always stayed on top of it. I have tons of notes on this stuff, but it's really I've come to the conclusion this case is so massive. We need everybody. We need people to work together, and we all kind of got to pick our little niche. And so I'm trying to look for things in these video and audio files that might explain some things about the shooting. But I don't want to lose sight of the most important of the 2 most other important parts of this whole thing. The shooting is one part of this. But there's what happened before the shooting and what happened after. And that's where the real story lies, right there. The shooting is extremely important to figure out exactly what happened there. But we got to figure out what the hell happened prior, leading up to this, and what happened immediately after it. Why did things change so quickly when the FBI got involved? These are all things I really want answered. All right, let me see here. Bob says, I think we've all seen the ninja videos, right? Guys in all black, seemingly with guns, moving and hiding like soldiers on top of various structures. Well, the RV guy was accused of wearing black. That's what Bob says there. And Little Monster Pants is asking, anyone know what the story is with the 3 women arrested in the parking lot? I would like to know the answer to that one, too. Bob says, fatigue's carrying a duffel bag coming from the area of the shooting. It could all be just a coincidence, just worth thinking about and looking at all the clues. Definitely. It's definitely worth looking into. You can't ignore something like that, not in a situation like that. Oh, cool. I see. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. I got your email there. Awesome. You got 822 gigabyte and growing. Awesome. It's same to you. If I could, if you know, I'd love to figure out a way. I mean, rather than uploading this stuff to YouTube, I don't know the best way to transfer this information or get it out there for people. I mean, I have no. I'm not looking for, you know, any credit or anything like that. I mean, a lot. I don't know. I've noticed that as a trend. Like with people with like police videos and stuff, when they put them out on YouTube, they're like, "Oh, well, it's mine now." It's like, well, no, it was the police departments or the taxpayers actually. But I don't know. You know. So point is, I really don't give a damn about credit. I just want to get the information out there. That's what I was getting at. Well, I appreciate it, Bob, and I might take you up on that. All right. Well, let's see. What other goodies do I have here? Did that one already. That's a long call. I don't want to play that one. All right. This is a weird one here. So listen to this. This is a call about supposedly, this is somebody calling in saying they have a shooter. They are giving a tip about a shooter or somebody who's
October 2000.
Somebody who's a potential shooter, at least. Oh, hold on one second. This is call 1048.
17 005 and 51 seconds.
Hello. Hi, this is Metro Police on a recorded line. Was I just talking to you, ma'am? Yes, you were. Okay, I apologize. Our phone system is going crazy, so it's dropping calls a lot. I apologize. Okay, so you said... Is that correct? Yes. So... Yes. It's going... Okay, and then... Gotcha. Yes. Okay. That was the name of the person that put it? That's the name of the person that posted it. Okay. And the person that they are saying is the shooter is... Sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking... Okay. It's okay. It's okay. 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 I don't know why it only works to take up. It's fine. Okay. I appreciate the information. What was your name, ma'am? Lakia. That's Lakeya. And your last name, Lakia? All right, ma'am. I appreciate the information. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So, I mean, not a whole lot there, I don't think. That was just some lady. Obviously, somebody posted something online, so she was thinking that it was something, you know, police-worthy, I guess. But I don't know. You know, a lot of freaks post a lot of stuff online. I don't know how much you can take that as with, you know, a grain of salt is how I would suggest it. All right, let's see here. Little Monster Pants. Wonder if they might be the same 3 women that were registered in one of the SP's rooms. Strange, we didn't hear anything about them until recently. Yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. You know, honestly, I haven't heard anything about that. The 3 women registered there and all that. I haven't heard anything about that. So if anybody's got anything new about it, please lay it on me. Bob says, what about the lady claiming she was told by another lady at the concert that they were all going to die, I think 25 minutes before? Just coincidence? Yeah, and I have that video, Bob. I do. I'm going to upload that one on the... And I saw about uploading it on your site. Yeah, I may take you up on that. That would be sweet. get this stuff out there for everybody. And Bob says, note that the dispatcher report that many calls were dropped, so we might expect that their record isn't complete. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of calls that came through there where they're all of a sudden dropped right in the middle of the conversation. I mean, it wasn't like, and the phone line wasn't all jacked up like, you know, like the guy only had like one bar or something and his phone was about to die anyway. It wasn't anything like that. Everything seemed fine, and then boom, all of a sudden it just stops working. So it really makes me wonder what was going on with that. Bob says, Joanna, Katie, Laura, and Paddock sharing 32135, not in FIT report. Weren't there 3 pairs of gloves and 3 mobile phones and multiple drills? Yeah, there was, and a vibrator in the wastebasket or in a bag in the back room, according to Sergeant Blitzko, I always say his name wrong, body cam footage, if you remember that. They thought maybe they had some kind of an IED or something like that, and then he said he wanted to have Armor come up and look at it, and he walked off, and then one of the guys just decided to look in it, and he kind of casually asked the guy, oh, what was in it? And he goes, a vibrator. And he's like, what? And he's, a vibrator. And he's like, you serious? And he's like, yeah. So there you go. I guess that a vibrator in there. Point is, I don't think whoever was, how can I put this delicately? More than likely he had that for a purpose. I'll just leave it at that. Linda says, do they have to eventually release all evidence, including Mandalay Bay camera footage, just everything, or do they have to settle for assumptions based on tidbits that have come out? Well, the judge order stated everything. That's what the judge wanted released. At least everything that the Las Vegas Police Department had control over. I'm not sure. I have to go back and read the decision. I'm not sure if that affects the Mandalay Bay's surveillance footage. They've released some of it. I have some of it. It's super boring. I looked through a lot of it. There's not, or actually, I looked through all of it, as boring as it was. And I didn't see anything noteworthy in whatever they released. But they could hide stuff from us. I mean, easily. How the hell do we know the difference? And you know, it's how dishonest they've been already. I mean, would it really be that big of a surprise if they just totally, you know, stonewalled us and told us BS? I mean, it's completely possible. I mean, hey, I believe the whole thing about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and I was there. I was in the invasion, so I really believed in it, and turned out not to be that way. So who knows? Fast News says here, strange 911 call about helicopter hostages. This video, there is massive light reflections from the street and everything else on the windows that were busted out. No way they were broken. Yeah, that's some have theorized that. Yeah, the helicopter hostages. Yeah, I have that video. I played it on one of my live streams. I should probably put that on just a regular video on my channel. Just reading through what you guys have written here. Little Monster Pants says, anyone check the arrest log from October 1st and 2nd for Las Vegas? The 3 women might be listed if they were taken into custody, although a cop on a body cam saying can't believe they let those 3 women go. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if they ever did show up on an arrest report. Bob said Mary D asked the LVMPD PIO public information officer about the 3 women, and they gave a legalistic answer, neither confirming nor denying. Oh, there's a shock. In other words, they just don't want to admit it, but it's true. That's what Bob said. Linda says, is this going to be a huge cover-up by casinos, LVMPD, FBI, CIA, or whoever? Yeah, basically. I mean, we've watched the FBI, the supposed, you know, our valiant warriors of integrity, you know, try to take down the democratically elected president of the United States. No matter what the hell you think of Trump, I don't care. He was democratically elected. I couldn't stand Obama. I disliked everything about him. I didn't like any of his policies. I think he probably did more to damage our country than any other president in our history, to be quite honest with you. But I held my nose for 8 years like a man. I, bitched and moaned and argued against him and, voted the way I could. But I didn't ask for some stupid federal agency to go in there and dig up some BS story and make up some BS collusion to get, Obama out of office, So my point being, they are political operatives. There may be like good agents and things like that at a lower level, but it's basically a political organization. You kind of got to look at it in a way like the Gestapo in a way. I mean, it's a mean comparison, but it's true. What was the Gestapo? It was state police that were politicized. They were political soldiers. They were representatives of the Nazi Party. Well, the FBI and a lot of these investigative bodies are representatives of the Democrat Party, which in a sense is a front for globalism and the globalists. So, when you kind of look at it that way and you see how corrupt they already are, of just about, every little thing they do is corrupt. They have no problem with trying to take down the president of the United States. They've got no problem at all. So you can't think that these kind of folks would be completely honest about an event like this. I mean, they've got no reason to be honest. I mean, they're going to milk it for whatever value they can, or they're going to make it go away for whatever reasons they want it to go away. And it seems to me that's what they want to do. They want it to go away. And I want to know why. We haven't even seen the final report yet. Why do they want this to go away? There's something here. There's something in these videos they did not want released. There's stuff here. There's definitely smoke. There's fire somewhere. And that's what we're all looking for. But as far as the casinos and all them in cahoots, oh, you damn right. Yeah, anybody in money and politics, hand in hand, all that. I mean, look at Hollywood. How connected to politics they are. I mean, all these elitist organizations, whether they be the people that run the casinos or run the government in some respects, are part of this elitist club, and we're not part of that. So they're not going to be honest with us. So let's not assume they will be. All right, I've blabbed on long enough. And they're going to have to cooperate with a court order. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The court order is only as good. I mean, what if they're not honest about what they have? Then what? It doesn't really help. They basically could tell us whatever they want. Look at I mean, not to keep harping on this, but look at like the Congress, subpoenaing, basically telling the FBI, give us these documents by this date or else. And what happens? Nothing. Nothing ever happens to them. So, you can't really expect that, oh, they're going to hold the FBI's feet to the fire and make sure we get all the info. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. But, this is a massive amount of information. There's something in these tapes that were released that they didn't want released. So that doesn't mean it doesn't mean the search is fruitless. There's a reason for it. Bob asked me if I don't believe in Saddam's weapons of mass destruction. Do you believe it was an innocent mistake? No, they wanted to invade there. I know they wanted to invade there. The second, I'll tell you how I know that is because when I was being shipped off, so little detour here, folks, sorry, but when 9/11 happened, I was in the service, obviously, at that time, and I deployed on September 13th. So 2 days afterwards, I was in the first wave to set up place at another country close to Afghanistan. Not in Afghanistan. I didn't do anything cool. I basically just set up a forward area refueling thing. It wasn't very exciting, so I won't bore you with the details. But the point is, within, I'd say, probably 2 weeks after the beginning of Operations Afghanistan, we started getting orders telling us that basically, because I worked in a very small career field, and they were basically telling us to get ready to shift all of our stuff to Iraq. This was in 2001. So their fate was sealed the second those planes went into the Twin Towers. It didn't matter. Now, as far was Saddam a great guy? No, he was an ass, just like everybody who's ever run Iraq. That's the kind of people that rule that part of the world. That's not my damn problem. I'm an American. I care about America. I don't give a damn about Iraq. That's not my homeland. But I went there because I thought we were doing the right thing. But, every night when I got to think about the friends I lost, I can't think that they died for what they signed up for, which was to defend the United States. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Let's see. Bob says, Linda, if you look at the object and you look at the real history of the LVMPD, FBI, CIA, etc., you have to assume a cover-up is a very real possibility. People who deny it are ignorant, to be blunt. That's very true. Very true. I couldn't agree anymore. There's Sleep Depth Vegas. Hello. And Linda says, right, no other way to look at it. Absolutely agree 100%. Why do they want it covered up and to go away? Totally agree with Bob, little monster pants. Linda says, yes, 100%, Bob. I was ignorant about their corruption until this LV massacre, and I started researching the truth and our government agencies' corruption. Yeah, it's a little, you know, sometimes I wish I was like really ignorant about it. I wish I was blue-pilled. It really sucks knowing a lot of these things, and you know, it still angers me a lot. It's like a lot of this stuff, like this type of corruption, was shown to me in like little snippets throughout when I was in the military, and I never put the pieces together when I was in. I was always believing the best, you know, wanting to believe the best about my government and believe the best intentions. And now I look back on myself back then, I'm like, oh, what a moron. I just totally believed that crap. But it was kind of nice, you know, in a way. I'd like to look, you know, go back and be, I mean, it was so much simpler then when you didn't realize how screwed we all are. But hey, you know what? Being red-pilled ain't that bad. We get to hang out together on live stream. So, hey, that makes it all worthwhile, huh? All right. Oh, Sleep Depth Vegas says, hey, Mr. Hostis, I've been watching you since the early days. Thanks, man, for everything. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. Well, let me see here. I don't have too much else to share. Let me look through my notes. I wrote some notes down. See what else I was going to wind up. Oh, I wanted to bring out something. So, you know those videos I uploaded? You know what? I'll show you the videos. How about that? We'll make it simple. So, if you go on my... so right here, when this video I uploaded where I said the Vegas, when this police officers, the first one, new Vegas Massacre body cam moment cops get pinned down. There's a 1 and a 2, or, you know, one that's labeled 2 and one that's not labeled. So this version right here, if you listen to this one, there's a bunch of single shots when these officers are advancing towards those squad cars. Those single shots are not reported anywhere else. I can't find anywhere else where those have been recorded. You know, where in any report, not in the New York Times breakdown of the shooting, not in FIT, nothing like that. Everything the only single shots I've ever heard anything about would be from the very beginning when he was targeting the fuel tanks or people in the concert or whatever the hell he was doing. So he was running. Let me take some of this off here. So he was walking up this way to get to the police cars right here where they finally got pinned down. Then he was hearing, if you listen to the video and you listen carefully, single shots, it sounded to me like they were coming from this area here. So I'm just pointing that out there. You guys might want to listen to that video and tell me what you think you hear out there, because it sounds to me like there's some kind of shots coming off from the right. Now, it could be sound refraction or whatever. I don't know. I'd like a second opinion on that. I don't like just trusting my own feelings on those ones. So if you guys could give that one a listen, I appreciate it sometime, and let me know what you think. Thanks, Sleep Depth. You're awesome, man. So I'm reading through my notes here. Hey, I wanted to bring this up. For those of you who've listened to a lot of these 911 calls, has it ever seemed to you that these operators don't live in Las Vegas at all? I mean, it's funny to me. Like they would be like, I'm at the Ogden or something like that. And the lady would be like, oh, could you spell that? You know, I mean, a lot of folks, if you're from Vegas, you know what the Ogden is, you know, the Tropicana. Anyway, I just thought that was a little unusual because it wasn't just like one time. It's like almost every single call I hear. I don't know if they're trained to act like that, to act like they're not from there, to make the people tell them everything. So they're getting, you know, make sure they're getting their information and they're not adding to it. I don't know, but just seemed to me like every time those operators got on the phone that like they kind of didn't know what the area. It's like they seem to know less about Vegas than I do, and I haven't lived there for decades. Let's see here. Bob says, thanks you for discussing your experience with war. I love hearing your growing wisdom. Very cool. Thanks, Bob. You know, I really would like to do a live stream sometime just to talk about, you know, kind of like everything, like the government, the military corruption, you know, in the military, my military experiences and things like that, and vets issues in general and all that. I don't know if you guys have heard, I did that series called Burned about, you know, how when I was in Iraq and stuff, they burned all the waste, plastic, explosives, bodies, parts, whatever. They burned in these giant open air burn pits, and it's made a lot of us sick. I'm pretty ill from it. That's why sometimes I have trouble, you know, even working and stuff like that. Actually, on Sunday, I was going to do this live stream, but I came down with some illness, respiratory illness. I wasn't able to do it. But anyway, they just had a court order or a court decision that basically says that, basically puts us back. Basically says that there's no proof. We can't sue the companies like KBR and stuff that ran the burn pits and poisoned us all, you know. So that's kind of a letdown. So I'd kind of like to do a live stream sometime and just talk about that issue. And I mean, that's so bad because it's actually more dangerous than Agent Orange. It's killing at a faster rate. And ironically enough, it's dioxin that's doing it, because that was a lot of the chemicals that were released out of by the burning of a lot of that stuff was dioxin. So not good, but yeah, I'd like to do that sometime. All right, looking at your comments here. Little Monster Pants says, hey guys, if you don't already know, Eddie Schmitz has a channel on YouTube now under his name. Check it out. He lives in Vegas and was there that night. He's also a veteran. All right, so you guys might want to look into that. 911 overflowed to other areas. Oh, that would explain it. That would explain it. They went to Henderson State Patrol or something like that. Oh, that would explain it. Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, I just thought, I was like, dude, I was thinking, are they like outsourcing this to Canada or something? Or, you know, what the hell? Why does it sound like nobody knows what the hell's going on? But yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense, because, you know, and I know that there's a lot, if you look at like when Lombardo, I watched that video, the press conference where he released the FIT report, and man, he's really touchy about that communication system there. You know, because the police radio system that the officers were using that night, that was his baby. That's something Lombardo rolled out. And man, he's really touchy about that. Like in that, if you watch that press conference, I loaded it on that Las Vegas Massacre archive channel that I created. So you guys should take a look-see at that. But I don't know, kind of stuck with me. I don't know if he's so defensive about it because of how badly things went with the police radio that night. I mean, that was pretty disastrous. Almost every single cop I've watched, you know, hours and hours and hours of body cam footage. These cops are constantly whining about they can't get on the radio. There's a bunch of useless information on there. It's not helping them find the shooter, this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, maybe that's why he's so defensive about it. I don't know. It just kind of struck me as interesting. Brother. Oh, Linda says, what? Going to watch the video. Brother and brother-in-law, ex-husband were part of the Agent Orange, but what? Worse than that? Yeah, it actually, I mean, it kills faster. It's basically, I mean, some Agent Orange would take, you know, 20, 30 years to kill people. This stuff has been doing it in 3 or 4 years after exposure. Luckily, I mean, I don't know why, because honestly, I did patrols right next to that burn pit like every day. I don't know why I'm not worse off, but yeah. It's on there. But anyway, if you look on my channel, it's called Burned is the name of the series, and you can get all the information on there. kind of what's going on. I kind of stopped, honestly, I was doing the series for a long time, but I was having difficulty with getting anybody to help me as far as I wanted to, branch out and then like kind of join with other veterans groups, but it wasn't working out. So, and it didn't seem like the politicians were very interested. They're more interested in playing World War III with Donald Trump. So it's not like they're going to help us, but yeah, if you check it out, it'll give you a little info on that. Bob says, brother, that's terrible. The people who rule us don't give a shit about soldiers. The true history of experimentation on soldiers is not pretty either. No, it's not. I still get, I was one of the first, the anthrax shot they gave out, and they started issuing that out to troops in 1997, at least all troops. And I was one of the first ones to get vaccinated by that because I was deploying to Saudi Arabia. And to this day, this was in 1997 when I was injected with this crap. To this day, my tricep, right where they injected me with, every night swells up into like a 50-cent piece lump that itches like crazy. It's like a giant mosquito bite. And it'll stay like that for 2 or 3 hours. And then it'll just go back down. And by the time I wake up the next day, it's like nothing ever happened. It's so bizarre. I mean, who knows what other crap they tested on us. That's just a little bit, anthrax and all, Jesus. Smallpox, I've been vaccinated. I mean, who knows? One of these days, if I don't drop dead from the burn pit, it could be from something else. Jesus. You gotta love it. But anywho, on a happier note, let's get back to the Las Vegas Massacre. I don't have much else. Let me see. I don't have much else to really share. What I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop this live stream right now, and then what I'll do is I'll upload that video that I've been telling you guys about. That so again, the video I'll upload. Just give it like a half hour or so for me to get it uploaded. But what it is basically is an officer running through like right into the mayhem. Right, I think he's in the VIP section stage. Where on the right side of the stage, if you're facing the stage, to the right. Where the majority of the casualties are, and you can hear the rounds coming in all around him. And I just want to know what everybody thinks about the rounds. Does it sound like anything's off on them or anything like that? Do you hear anything? I don't want to, get you to prejudge anything. All right, let me read some of your comments here. Linda says, "Oh my God, y'all, I'm freaking out. All the crap we've done to our soldiers. What the hell? It's been that way for forever." I mean, that's what, I don't know. That old sergeant told me one time that was my whole purpose, is I was there to die, so I shouldn't bitch about it. And he also said if I just embraced death, things would be a lot easier. And, he was right, so. Hope you guys can pick up on my kind of sick sarcasm. It gets me through a lot of, rough times. Little Monster Pants, off subject, ignore if not appropriate, but I'd love your opinion on how our vets are treated in this country upon return. It's an interesting question. I can't complain too much, to be honest with you. I have more complaints about from the military, for example. I had a lot of issues, I think, with like PTSD and things like that, but they scared the hell out of us so much that if I did go for help, that they would take away my security clearance, which means I'd be non-deployable, which means they would kick me out. If I have 2 kids and a wife, I can't be doing that. I can't lose my job like that. So I didn't like that fact. I didn't like how they treated us like that. And then when I eventually got injured, and then I had to get out, I got medically retired out. And I basically had to live on about like $1,000 a month. That's all they gave me until my VA pension kicked in, which was fair. I mean, I'm 90% disabled per their rating system. And on top of that, I get combat related special compensation for being wounded in combat. So, I mean, I can't say I've been picked on, and they paid for me to go to college. I went to college after that. I got another 2-year degree. Which helped me kind of get into the line of work I'm in now, which is administrative stuff. So I can't complain. I mean, it's a lot better than what my father went through when he came back from Vietnam. I mean, he had people literally tell him, get the fuck out of my shop when he came in there to, give him an application, said he'd been in the Army. Get the fuck out of here, baby killer. They'd say shit like that to him. I never had anything like that. I think most time, you know, a lot of the people I work with, I mean, I don't know, sometimes I feel like they don't, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's like I know they don't understand me, or, you know, a kid, it's like we don't, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to connect with people, you know, especially when you have to work with them all the time. It's like we don't have that much in common, you know. I came up in the military, and a lot of these folks just came up, you know, in a different lifestyle than I'm used to. So I don't know. That's probably the hardest part for me, but the adjustment to being a civilian, especially after combat, is really, really difficult. And there are tools out there, but I think we need more. We need more, probably mental health counseling. The VA's got to be rebuilt from top to bottom. The VA, I refuse to use VA healthcare. It's horrible. I can't stand. I've used to go to them, and just the way I was treated. I went to the front desk one time to like check in for an appointment, and the lady was literally passed out on her desk, passed out, snoring. It's like 9:30 in the morning, and she's snoring. I was like, "Are you serious, dude? Is this? Am I being punked? Is Demi Moore's husband going to come out and say, 'Hey, got you'?" No, it was real. They just don't give a shit. I mean, and that's how a lot of them. Now, there are good people who work there, but it's the bureaucracy, the system, the people at the top. That's why you can change the VA director after VA director after VA director. It won't change a damn thing, because you know what? The system is the problem, not the guy at the top. There's only so much the guy at the top can do, and that's just, especially in a runaway, you know, giant federal agency like the VA. I mean, good luck trying to, you know, pull the reins in on that. But by and large, to kind of sum up my yammering here, I think we're doing a lot better. I was treated pretty well, I think. I just wish the VA would get a hell of a lot better. We need to get better with integrating veterans, especially combat veterans, into our world and back into, you know, the United States, and you know, so we could be productive members of society, which is we're all capable of. I'm actually working with a vet right now who's trying to get back into the civilian world, and it's hard for him. You know, he did a lot of tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. I never went to Afghanistan, you know, so God knows what that was like. And then we get kind of let these people loose and say, okay, be normal. Can you imagine how vets in like World War I, how the hell they dealt with it when they came home? There was no VA, there was no nothing. So compared to those poor tough heroes, I don't got it that bad. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it. All right, let me look in here. Any last comments here? Thank you for entertaining my diatribe there, guys. Vaccines have all kinds of shit in them. This is from Bob. They absolutely spiked them. They put birth control shit into vaccines for Africans. Yeah, I've heard that too. Linda says, thanks for sharing. Thank you, Linda. And Bob says, central planning bureaucracies don't work. True that. Thank you, Little Monster Pants. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Bob says, the VA and the whole Pentagon and military is run like a large communist nation, centrally planned, a vast, impenetrable bureaucracy. That's very true. Thanks, Bob. Very cool information. Thank you, Bob says. Thank you. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night. And so I'll probably do another live stream. Maybe we'll aim for this weekend or something. I don't know. Send me, and you feel free to comment, you know, what times work best for you, you know, on the comment page once this thing loads and is archived. I would like to do these things where we can all share information and stuff, but I'd like to do it where it's, you know, convenient for everybody. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and check out. So just wait about 30 minutes or so, and I'll upload that video I've been telling you all about, and you can watch it and tell me what you think. And again, I'm going to have to age restrict it just because of what's on it. And, you know, I don't want YouTube to shut down and, you know, give me a strike and stop my live streaming and all that crap. I'd rather avoid that. So go ahead and do that. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. God bless.